You have some great opportunities that are about to be grounding into your reality, and your guides are coming through today to affirm that you can trust where you're being led, because it seems like these opportunities are going to be the direct result of some things that have happened to you lately that maybe haven't felt so pleasant, that maybe you've had to leave behind, but they are actually the exact like experiences that need to happen to make sure that these new opportunities come to you. So there's two things popping up here in the reading that recently you've had to leave behind. And number one is that maybe recently you've come into a place where you've become so busy where you've kind of had to drop certain responsibilities that you have, maybe that were just simply having to be prioritized below something else. And another energy that's popping through is that maybe recently you've been ostracized from some sort of environment, and this could be a work environment or a relationship, but I'm also kind of getting that it could be like a community or like a friend group. I'm specifically getting the energy of like tension and shared energy among people like in your like closer circle, specifically in regards to how people are comparing themselves to one another. So it could be an issue of like hierarchy, or it could be an issue of jealousy. However that plays out is fine. But whatever it is, it recently has come to some sort of catalyst point where some sort of radical change has been made in the dynamic. So it seems like it's something that you've recently had to leave behind because of it seems like a no choice situation, and that could be anything from like losing your ability to access that space, or like even so much as like the things that happened were so outside of what you accept in your own life that to you it felt like a no choice, an obvious decision. But you have judgment popping up twice in your reading, and at the beginning over here on the left it actually pops up reversed, and then later in the reading at the end it pops up upright. And with your Wheel of Fortune upright as well, in the corner of the wheel card you see the signs of all four fixed signs. So you have Scorpio, which for some reason is an eagle, and Aquarius here. You have Taurus and you have Leo, and right next to your wheel card you have the Chariot reversed. And Cancer energy, which is what the Chariot is ruled by, is special in the sense that Cancer sits right between Gemini and Leo, which is one of your fixed signs here on this card in the zodiac wheel. And the goal of Cancer is to take these like airy, mutable energies of Gemini and like transmute them into the fixed and like more ordered energies of Leo. So I feel like you are kind of in this like Cancerian energy right now, where you're kind of moving from this like area of changeability. And maybe it's the case that you like, I'm really getting this like jack of all trades, master of none energy in you. And I feel like you're kind of moving out of that energy into kind of trying to root your identity into something a lot more stable, focused, and permanent. And like Leo specifically, since it's coming up, whether or not Leo is in your chart, Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is concerned with authority, because the sun, whether or not it chooses to have the kind of authority it has, it's the one, its gravity decides which planets are close enough to it to use its energy as a resource. So I also feel like you're coming into this place of authority right now, where whether or not you have decided to have the power you wield right now, you're kind of trying to allot either your energy or the resources of some project out to your what you're trying to build, however that looks for you. And if you're starting in that place of that mutable air, Gemini energy is great for a lot of things, but it's not necessarily the most organized energy, and it's not necessarily the most committal energy. And And it can also be very nervous as like a baseline. And I feel like whether or not you have that like energy in your chart, that's kind of where you're coming from, is that you're coming from a place of kind of like, there's a lot of energy of that anxiety here, particularly because it seems like the solution to what you're going through right now, and we'll get into this in a second, is to kind of get in touch with your inner child energy. There's a lot of energy of really needing to connect with your authentic self on a deeper level than what you've been able to do right now. And it kind of seems like that's one of the reasons why you were moved out of the social environment that you were just moved out of. It just kind of seems like for whatever reason you couldn't be your most authentic self in that environment. And coming from that like changeable energy within yourself, it may be the case that I'm not really getting an energy of somebody who's not secure in themselves, but I am really getting the energy of somebody who's willing to try anything and be anyone. Again, that jack of all trades, master of none energy comes in, and that's like, I love people like that, but it's so hard to build something when you are just not rooted in anything. And it seems like that's kind of where you're coming from right now. And it seems like this stems from a fear of your own success. It seems like it's coming up a lot. And again, with that nervous energy, it may just be like actual, like physical, medical anxiety. But it may also be the case that something may have happened in your childhood that maybe had like affected your confidence in some level. It seems like you're trying to root yourself in this King of Cups energy right now. And that's where the king, he represents the suit of the element of earth. So, and that's mixing with the water energy here. And I feel like you're trying to specifically manifest something that's in that like energy of self-fulfillment. And I'm really getting like creative energy here. It doesn't necessarily have to be artistic, but it is something that I see you trying to like build for yourself. And you're kind of having trouble rooting that right now because of all that air energy. But it seems like these events that have just happened have catalyzed this new perspective for you. And you have the Kali card here in reverse and the Dakini card. I'll show you Kali. And Kali, of course, she it says, the mother of the universe, I let go of all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. And I feel like that theme comes up several times in your reading, where you're just kind of trying to like move it, like, again, that Cancerian energy of trying to move these energies of not being rooted in a particular sense of self into something where you can build a long-term identity, somewhere where you can shine outward and like really sit in your authority for the long term. And it seems like you may be kind of having a little bit of trouble with, again, with this anxiety energy, with this like being willing to go anywhere, be anybody, and do anything. You might be having a hard time trusting your intuition, because it might seem that your intuition is existing right next to this voice who, you know, might have like ADHD, honestly, and might like exist beside this voice that like is so overwhelmed with everything that life can be that it has trouble anchoring and deciding what it wants life to be. And I feel like right now you're really stepping into that decision energy. And you do have the Lovers at the end of your reading, and it is in the reverse, and that lets me know that you're kind of integrating this energy of making decisions based on what you want to do and who you want to be. And it may be the case that previously you were just kind of making decisions on a whim, but it seems like your life is coming into this place of more like order, and it seems like you're kind of really trying to and not for the sense of like sometimes we do that hard work because we want to be successful, and it's kind of this nose to the grindstone energy. But I think in your specific like case, it's the energy of, I'm not going to be able to do the things I want to do if I don't decide which ones I want to do and make the effort to do them.